You or someone you love needs help for an addiction. Where do you turn? Foundations Recovery Network offers individualized treatment for the whole person. Our goal goes beyond short-term sobriety. We address substance abuse and co-occurring mental health issues together, providing a firm foundation for long-term recovery. The first step is often the hardest, but we're here with a free assessment, insurance information, and treatment options. Our confidential helpline is available 24/7, so call 877-714-1318 and discover the Foundations Recovery Network difference today.
Yo, what's up? This is Jacoby from Papa Roach.
This is Ryan Leaf.
This is Rich Roll, and you're listening to Sober Guy Radio.
Yo, what's up? Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks to Humans for bringing us in, and thanks to you for supporting the show. Everybody, big shout out to everybody supporting the recovery movement from the West Coast to the East Coast and abroad. We're blessed to have listeners from all over the world, and I'm proud and humbled to be a part of it, so thank you for that. To those out there who have helped pave the way for me, guys like me, ladies like me out there, much respect to you. We're all in this together, and the hope is to bring some more awareness to the stigma of alcoholism and addiction, mental health. So that's why we're here. And like I said before, I'm very blessed and honored to be a part of it. So thank you. We have a few announcements before we get into today's guest, which is a phenomenal guest who, man, you guys are going to really enjoy this story, man. It's pretty gnarly and some great insight into it. I can't wait to share it with you. But before we do that, we're going to be in Nashville June 19th and the 20th for the Innovations in Behavioral Healthcare Conference. We're going to be doing some shows. We're going to be connecting with some great people. If you want more information on the event or how you can get tickets, you can go to foundationsevents.com. And a big thanks to Foundations Recovery Network for having us out to do that. We were just down in San Diego just recently. We had a great time down there. Put out some great content, so you can go back and see some of those episodes. I think they're 130 through 140, right around there. Also, don't forget to support the 1 Million Mohawks and Mental Health Awareness Month in May. You can go to thatsoberguy.com and watch Jess cut the Raymer, a badass Mohawk, on the Facebook Live repost video. I reposted the video up there, and you can see that there. And, of course, all the information is there from the UROC Foundation to help support the cause. And you can get more information about the hashtag 1 Million Mohawks and how you can become a part of it to help support Mental Health Awareness Month in the month of May. Now, one of the tools I like to use is Transitions Daily. It's a daily AA email. It's delivered right to my inbox. Really my best way to start my day. It takes me about 5 minutes to read. And it's really one of my favorite tools. It's simple, and there's just some great things to help get my mind set and focused on the day. I notice when I don't do the things that I need to do, man, my day, just the littlest thing can just set my day off and really move me apart from staying in focus and staying in tune spiritually, mentally, even physically to where I need to be. So if you want more information about that, you can go to dailyaaemails.com. Today's guest is Adam Jasinski, and Adam and I have been trying to hook up for a few months now, and it just so happens the timing of this is perfect. God's timing usually is, so a big thanks to him for that. Now, Adam is the winner of the U.S. Series Big Brother 9. Adam is a public relations manager from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and he became the winner of Big Brother 9, earning $500,000. And October 19th, 2009, Adam was charged by the DEA in North Reading, Massachusetts, for possession of 2,000 Oxycodone pills with intent to distribute. He admitted to funding his illegal venture with the $500,000 winnings from the show and to buying and reselling Oxycodone pills for several months. Adam faced a maximum of 20 years in prison and a $1 million fine. He was sentenced in January 2011 to 4 years in federal prison for the drug charge and for tax evasion. And I thought this one was interesting. I think maybe my mom may say the same thing. I don't know. I'm sure some of us can relate to this. But in Adam's mother's words, he was a party animal and wild and crazy right up until the feds arrested him. And today a lot has changed for him. That's why we're going to talk to him today and see what he's up to and see how he's helping to reach out and help other people out there struggling with addiction, mental health. He's a mentor and a consultant for the Drug and Mental Health Treatment Center, Oceans Medical Centers. And that was recently opened by his mother and co-owner in Palm Beach County, Florida, not far from his home in Delray Beach. And Adam's been clean and sober for 8 years. Adam, what's up, man? Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing some of your story and your experience, your strength, your hope. What's up, man? How are you?
What's going on, buddy? How are you? Like you said, it took a few months to get me in the queue over here, but I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm doing great. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's sunny out, and getting up like you said and doing the thing every day. It's phenomenal. Life's good. Can't complain.
Yeah, man. That's all we can do, man. Keep pushing, getting up every day, and it all starts from within. At least for me, I know that. I'm sure you can relate to that. So you're out in Florida, right?
Yep, Delray Beach, Florida. The crazy part is before I went on Big Brother, I was living in Delray Beach, Florida, selling drugs and partying, not knowing, the whole time I'm living in the recovery capital of the country. It was right there out my front. It was right there out my front door the whole time, and I didn't even put my eyes out and try to even see it.
It's crazy because you're right. Recovery capital. It's also I don't even know how to use the correct verbiage. I'll probably jack it up, but it's the capital for prescription opiates. That's a huge epidemic. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I guess they cleaned it up now. And I guess when I got to the Big Brother show, I came down here. I was doing my thing. I was living in Florida, lived in Miami, lived all over the place. And I was just happened to be living here, And then I got casted for the show, won all that money. And even before that, I wasn't the best guy. We really didn't do the best of everything. So I was living in the pill mill. They would have literally mobile MRI machines that pull up to the front of your house, dude, and give you a fake MRI and just prescribe you the pills right there. It was mobile. It was insane. They finally cleaned it up. I guess when I got out of jail like maybe 5 years ago, it was like they cleaned it up finally. But it was the Wild West. So
you could call up and you could have somebody show up at your house to get an MRI
with an MRI machine in the back of a truck.
Are you kidding me? Damn, I never heard that before. That's incredible. Jeez, man, that's crazy.
Insane. And it's normal place, you know what I mean? They would give you literally a bottle full of 150 Xanax bars and 250 blue oxys, 30s every month, dude. Each doctor you go to. So, I mean, you think how what becomes reality and not reality, For me, having 2 scripts of pills in my house was, commonplace.
Yeah. And until
you find out that 2,000 pills carries 8 years, and you know what I mean? Then you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. I mean, that's crazy in itself. So let's kind of back up from that just for a minute, and let's get to, you, like your mom mentioned, you kind of always had lived a fast life. Take us back. What was that like even growing up as a kid for you?
Dude, nuts. I mean, I knew right away, something wasn't right. I always big energy, man. Always want more and more and more. I wasn't a brat. I earned everything I got. But the first time I got weed, I bought the whole ounce kind of guy.
Yeah, gotcha. You
know what I'm saying? And I said, I'm going to bag it up, I'm going to sell it, I'm going to make it, I'm going to get high for free. So basically, I got high for free for 20 years.
Yeah. You had that entrepreneurial spirit right off the bat, even with pot.
I made the middleman my business for a long time.
Yeah, There's a lot of guys like that, I think.
Yeah, it's easy. I mean, you can't afford to do drugs. I mean, it's fun. It's easy. You party, you go out. It's fun. And then I'm manic bipolar. We'll talk about that, I'm sure, later. But every time I would get into some crazy business, I would dive in, I work hard, and then I just freaking explode. And what was there? Drugs. Drugs at go-go bars and good times. That was it.
So what were your childhood years like? Did you have any? A lot of us, I know for myself, for instance, grew up in a pretty dysfunctional, non-communicative, or not able to communicate correctly. Fuck that all up right there. But
you see that's where addiction doesn't discriminate. Because my childhood, the best.
See,
the best family, the best mom, the best dad, the most supportive. Whatever you need, kid, we'll figure it out. And it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter. I guess what they say, some of it's the gene that's in you, some of it's the social, environmental things that activate that gene or whatever it might be.
What was it for you that when you first started smoking or drinking?
I think it was. I mean, it made me feel like, I guess, I knew something wasn't right in me. It was always I was never stable, I guess, mentally. So for me, I actually felt normal, it normalized me for a sense. So I don't know if it was self-medication these whole years for me, but I getting fucked up. Who doesn't like getting fucked up?
See, I love that honest part of it too, because I said it sometimes too, we talk about all the surrounding issues, and I was mentioning, I grew up kind of in a fucked up household, growing up, but at the end of the day, it was, I just like to get high, and I had a lot of good times doing it, but it really fucked my life up at the same time.
It gets to the point where that switch gets hit, where it peaks and then you're down, and that downhill ride is a lot harder than that uphill. It's You know what I'm saying? Up the roller coaster's fun getting to the top, but once you go, there ain't no stopping it.
Well, you mentioned manic bipolar. Was that something that you had experienced young, or was that something that you kind of figured out?
Well, everyone
older?
thought it was ADD. Like back when I was little, I don't know how old you are, but when I was little, it was like Ritalin and Strattera, and everyone's all of a sudden ADD. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, I was super smart. I used to kill it in school. I would never even show up and get A's and B's.
Really?
You know? So for me, it was like, that was the easy part. So I'm trying to fuck around and have fun because I got nothing else to do with my time. I didn't want to play sports. I wanted to fucking go out and get high instead of sitting around. You know, I never really conformed to that type of thing. You know, a lot of these kids, you see that play sports and do their thing and they're like more structured and stuff, ended up, thinking they get a little bit like, I personally now, looking back, think they have a little bit of a leg up because they're provided that structure, you know, and that accountability, which I had none of.
And I can tell just by chatting with you, even just for a short period of time, that obviously very high energy. We talked about that even in the bio, but a lot of the time, a couple other cats that I know who are kind of similar to that high energy. You constantly have to have something going on, or you get bored really easy, and you're also super super intelligent, almost too fucking smart for your own good. Does that say?
Yep. Well, you do dumb fucking shit.
So what was your motivation? Back to well, actually, let me back up before that. So you start using drugs, using alcohol to kind of just to have fun, to get high, right? Where does that go into like your 20s? And when do you? Is it before you go on Big Brother? Before you realize it's an issue, or take us back there?
It's always been an issue, but it never. I mean, like I said, like. My mom kind of saved it a little bit because I started doing like crack and heroin in high school a little bit. It accelerated fast. I'm the entrepreneur. Like, listen, I was straight legit collecting lunch money, leaving for the work release program, going to North Philly and getting 1,000 in drugs a day and coming back and selling them shits before school was even out. You know, that was my thing.
That was in
my
mom,
high school? Yeah, it was bad. So my mom knew something was up. I think my brother kind of told on me. I was bad. Like my one boy's mom got like $1 million settlement and was like paying me $1,000 a day to drive around and get crack. You know what I mean? Like,
damn.
I was a crackhead in high school. So like, for me, my mom knew something was up, and she worked for one of the bigger, you know, LabCorp. Before it was Roche Labs, now it's LabCorp. Before like these tests were available in the stores and stuff, the instant test, there was none of that in the 90s. You know? Yeah. So my mom actually worked at the lab, and I would come home and there'd be a Dixie cup on the counter, like, come on, dude, pee in the cup, let's go. And then she would put the styrofoam on top and take it to work. So one time I actually came home and I was like, all right, I'll pee for her. And I dipped it in the toilet. I saw pee in the toilet. I dipped it in the toilet bowl and she took it to work and there was weed in there. I guess my dad was smoking and didn't flush the toilet. You know what I'm saying?
You got fucked on that one.
Yeah, right. So, but I never told on the man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, thank God, because she knew something was up. Yeah. But I didn't get popped for the heroin and the crack. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of got my shit straight by her. Then, like, I knew every day, hell or high water, when I come home, there's a fucking cup on the table. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So if I wanted to live there and I wanted to comply, I had to give a sample. So she really got me off the harder drugs until, you know, what slowed me down big time until I got to, like, you know, out of high school and into college life. And then, you know, I found I can buy Coke for an ounce for fucking $800 and double my money. And then I was doing that for maybe a good 4 or 5 years. Fucking around. Then I went to school over in Europe. I went to a private fashion school over in Italy and ended up getting busted over there for fucking selling hash. I went to jail for 6 months in France. It was all fucked up, dude. All kinds of like nonstop, dude. And then I got like crazy opportunity. I cleaned myself up, and then drugs would take me out of the game again. Clean myself up, great opportunity. Drugs took me out of the game again, over and over and over again. My whole life, you know. Even after Big Brother with $500,000 in the bank, I'm like, boom, I can buy a ton of pills now, you know, genius idea, because I had no accountability, no want, no need, no desire to do something right until I actually worked a program, until I actually saw what AA and a recovery program can do for you, and it taught me the core principles to live by and changed my life, dude.
Is there like a certain thrill factor that comes next to getting high and just committing these types of activity, like living that lifestyle? And then how... So a lot of people think too, and I know I thought this even before I got sober, like, how am I going to live? How am I going to have fun now? All I know how to do is have fun is when I'm partying. But there's definite, you know, joy and genuine fun, genuine relationships and recovery. Like, how did that kind of switch for you, and how have you been able to find that?
Dude, I was laying in the jail cell on the bench, not caring about the TV, not caring about me getting locked up, not caring about what happened. I was pissed because I can't do coke no more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was pissed.
I was like,
life's fuck. I was like, life's over. I can't do drugs no more. You know what I mean? Like that was my fucking thought process. Was like, I can't do drugs anymore. Fuck. So for me, it is the thrill. It was a thrill, but it came to the point where it was the regularity and the, you're used to every time you go out, you got to have this in a row, or this is what you're going to do when you go out on Friday and Saturday nights. I know Friday I'm going to be up till Sunday. It became such routine in my life and such ingrained in me after years of abuse. You didn't. Yeah. I started using drugs. So I never knew life could be any different than that.
Yeah. And how long did you say you were locked up for 4 years? Yeah,
there was a 4-year sentence. I did almost the whole 4 years. I got a little bit of time off for that. I did like a 500-hour drug program in there. It was like hardcore shit, dude.
That's actually what I was going to ask you was, when you were did you do some sort of program? Did you work a program, and what was that?
Well, this is how my life got saved. I got locked up on October 2009. Mm-hmm. They went to go get bail. The feds doesn't give anybody bail for some reason. If you get locked by the feds, it's like almost impossible to get bail unless I don't know, it's like a real small minor crime. Yeah. So my lawyer, I guess, lobbied. They're like, look, this kid needs help, So I was living in Florida. I got locked up in Massachusetts. They ended up sending me to a residential program for 5-6 months in Mass. So I ended up going to, on release, they're like, all right, we'll let you out of jail as long as you go to rehab. So I went the first time ever in a program, ever knowing what that shit's about. Rehab was for quitters. It's how fucking, what else is it for? I'm good. Brush your shoulders off, kid. Get up. You'll be all right. You don't need none of that shit. You didn't realize that, the thought behind, addiction as a disease and why you behave the way you do and what's what. So I was actually 6 months sober. I got all the drugs out of my system. I was on nothing, and I was like, my lawyer's like, man, something's still not right with you. She's like, you need to talk to a psychiatrist, man. I was like, all right, cool. So she called one of her buddies in. God gave me a consultant. He's like, you're bipolar. He's like, you need to get more help besides just substance abuse. So I went to the judge. I was like, look, I'm done as inpatient. Can I go to my mom's house in New Jersey on house arrest to try and get some mental health help? So he bails me out to New Jersey. I'm at my mom's house. I'm doing an IOP at a local hospital. I had no insurance. I called the county. I got all these free resources. Everyone hooked me up. God bless, Then I went to University of Pennsylvania. I applied for a bipolar study because I didn't want to admit that I'm mentally fucked up. So I applied for the study. I go there, and the guy's like, whoa. He's like, you don't qualify for the study because it's for people who cycle once a year. He's like, but you've been suffering for way too long, and I'm going to get you better. And that's what those words changed my life, dude. I'm telling you right now, what the mental health programming I went through at University of Pennsylvania, everyone goes through a traditional drug rehab. You get it?
Yeah.
The mental health IOP and outpatients teach you a different set of principles to manage your head. And it ended up, it took me 2 or 3 years. And then because I did that, I had all the medical records for the prison system. So I went to jail and got sentenced, but I brought with me an army of doctors' information. Like, this kid, you are required to help him because he's mentally fucked. So believe it or not, the whole way through, I asked for it and I got it. I asked for med management. I went and saw a psych every month. I went to a doctor every month. I sat in a one-on-one with a therapist every month. So I worked myself 2 separate programs. Okay? I worked my AA and my substance abuse end of it, and I would work a whole separate team I had for the mental health aspect of it to manage my mania. I'm a certified maniac, dude.
So when you say bipolar, right? Explain to those listening, and even myself a little bit. I mean, I know the general analysis, I guess, of it, but what is bipolar, and how can you describe it and help someone understand out there what it is if they have no clue?
Right. Well, bipolar is type 1 and type 2. I'm type 1, the maniac type, where heightened speech. I talk super fast. My eyes used to bulge out of my head, dude. On Big Brother, I talk so fast. I needed someone. They had to put subtitles for my words. I was that manic. I was the first guy that spoke English and needed subtitles. That's how crazy it was.
Well, then you combine that up with a bunch of cocaine. Fuck, that's a train wreck.
Coffee levels me. Coke levels me. My switch is back. The mental illness I have.
It levels you. I see.
Levels me. I'm normal. I go to bed off a cup of coffee. I go to sleep.
Wow, man. That's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I'm wired different. And a lot of successful people are bipolar. What it is it's a heightened awareness. You get manic ups, and then in turn there's manic downs. So bipolar type 2 is more of a depressive. They're always like, I'm 90% of my time, 80% of my time, I'm up and I'm on, fired up, more energy. If I don't get up and spend my energy every day, I'm pacing the walls till 4 a.m, dude. You know, I got to get up and get out of the house. And this is what I learned. I learned spend my energy, shut down. I would be so manic about an idea or a business, I would work 24 hours a day for months and then just burn out and crash.
Yeah.
You know, so now I get up, I work, I come home at 4 or 5 o'clock, step away from what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? I still do some stuff on my end, but I'm not actively involved in something so much. And the results are better because I'm taking that time away that's needed to reflect on shit. It's crazy how it all works out.
So you're really having to set up
schedule,
a schedule, outline,
gym, diet that's all like.
Does gym and diet help you? Does gym and diet
the medication
help you out
management? Huh?
Does gym and diet help you out a lot? Like, talk about that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know for me it's huge in recovery.
Huge. I feel like shit if I don't go to the gym. It's not about, I mean, looking good. I'm still a little fat, but I mean, without going to the gym, then I can eat a little bit better if I don't. You know what I mean? Diet, I let slip a little bit. I try and stay conscious about what I do. But the gym and exercise, like getting my blood circulating and wearing myself out.
Yeah, the eating thing is tough, man. Like, dude, pizza and
right. What else you got, dude? I'm sober. I don't get fucked up. Let me eat something.
Well, that's why I told my wife. I'm like, man, you know, because I kind of struggle with the eating thing too. I'm doing a little bit better, but it's like kind of back and forth, right? And I'm like, well,
she's like, yo, fat ass, put the cupcake down. You're like, no,
look, fatty, come on, man, but put the fucking cupcakes down and. It's comedy, man, but it's like you said, like I don't have that vice anything, and so what do? I turn to food sometimes, you know, to get that high, and it's tough, you know.
Dude, listen real quick about that, about healthy habits. I bought back, in my mind, my 4 years of jail by quitting smoking cigarettes. I was like, look, if I quit smoking, I remember my last cigarette in front of the courthouse when I was getting sentenced. I was like, this is my last cigarette ever, because I'll live 4 years longer. Yeah. If I quit smoking.
And you quit?
I never smoked a cigarette again. Quit. Done. Fuck cigarettes. I don't need them ever again. Done. I bought my time back. That's my deal with myself. You know what I mean? But I was able to be like, once the mental health thing happened, I was like, I'm not strong with myself. And let me tell you my key, back to mental health again.
Yeah.
The medication management component. A lot of kids go into treatment and they're like, here's Neurontin, here's fucking gabapentin, whatever you want to take it and mix it all together. No. You got to clean your shit out. You need to be, this is the real me. You're on so much drugs, man, when you go into rehab. You don't know who you are. Yeah. You don't know what you like, you know? And then these doctors start prescribing these generic medications. I mean, listen, if you're hearing voices in your head and you're schizophrenic, I guess, you need to be on certain medications to stabilize you. Don't get me wrong. But to properly treat myself, I was dead fucking clean for 6-7 months, nothing. And then I started implementing one medicine, and I was vocal about how I felt. Extremely vocal, you know. Yeah. It's for you. A lot of people do is they get these meds and don't say nothing. You know, they're taking too much like they're taking too much Seroquel and they're fucking raiding the refrigerator at 2 o'clock in the morning. That's too much meds. You know what I mean? So it took me 3 years to find the right combination that stabilized me, and then I took that same combination for 3 years. So that's 6 years, and then for the last 2 years now. I cut back, you know what I mean? Yeah. My brain healed, my body healed. I got past all that other stuff, and then I started weeding them out. Now I'm on like a real low level of lithium, like really, really low, you know, but I have the other heavier drugs in the cabinet in case I'm like, I have an episode or something, which I haven't had in over a year, you know? So
you had to take a really strategic approach and really you had to start from scratch basically, right? And I heard a good analogy recently on a different show, and they kind of equated it to, and I think it relates to this, about making a recipe for the first time. Like you gotta start from scratch, and then after so many times of doing it, you start to learn the recipe. Then before you know it, you're adding your own little ingredients. You're kind of, you know, you might be changing a couple little things because everyone is a little bit different, right?
And then you produce your signature dish.
There you go. Exactly. And so that's kind of where you're saying you're at right now. You've gotten to a point where you kind of know who you are, you know your reactions to certain things, and you kind of have your own schedule instead of just, here you go, here's a bunch of fucking meds, pop on them, and now you're a zombie in some instances, which is scary. Right.
point.
man,
You're
for
like, hey, this
anybody.
is too much. This isn't working. I mean, if you need to be zombie to be safe and stable, be a zombie
that's
for
one
6
thing.
months. You know what I'm saying? And then cut it back. Be vocal about it. Like, if you're going to do a mental health program, you should do monthly. You should be able to have a doctor on call. You know what I mean? Doc, this is too much. I don't feel good on this. Let's change this up. You know, you got to be vocal about how you feel. Even in recovery, they always say call your sponsor. You know what I'm saying? If you're not vocal, the sponsor in my eyes is the same as my psychiatrist. You know, if I don't call my sponsor, you know, if I didn't call my sponsor for everything that I needed when I felt like I needed it, it's a waste of time. You're wasting your time doing this.
So I want to get on Big Brother a little bit here. I think this part is interesting. Do you think that they saw, obviously when they cast people, they see certain
knew I was
characters.
completely fucking batshit, dude.
And so they kind of jumped on that opportunity to have a character like yourself and bring you on the show. And then they probably didn't assume you'd end up fucking winning, I bet. That's
right.
And you ended up winning $500,000. And then,
they wrote off the drug addict, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm sure, but they don't know that a lot of us are smart as shit, but we just make stupid decisions, man.
We're the best. We're the smartest, most cunning, observant, understanding, and manipulative fucks there is, man.
That's what I love. My wife and I were just talking about this the other day. That's what I love about when you take somebody who has been written off or who's an addict or who's, you know, in suffering mental health, and when they can find that switch to turn it around and put all that energy into positivity, dude, you accomplish some amazing fucking things, just like you're doing today. I mean, you're helping a ton of people. You're speaking out. You're open about it. But before you got there, so you win the money, you get out, and then you go right back kind of to your old ways. Like, can you talk? No,
even worse. That? They're like, yo, come to my nightclub for $1,000. Let me come to this festival. Come to this party.
So they're paying you to show up at places.
I didn't make it. Listen, I didn't make it 48 hours. I got out of there. There's an 8-ball coke and a bunch of perks in my hand within 3 hours of getting out of the house.
Damn.
And Los Angeles, where I know nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah, like what shot did I have? You know what I mean? What shot did I have? And I thought like, oh, I got a month clean, this, that, the other. Dude, I kicked the fucking oxys on the fucking show, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I snuck them in there. They called me, they found, they took them. I told them I had a prescription, you know what I mean? But I didn't tell them what it was for. You know what I mean? Like, classic minimized everything. Like, oh yeah, my back has problems.
Yeah. Trying to make an excuse on why you actually need to be justified to take them. Yeah,
why it's okay to chew? Why it's okay to chew some 30s while I'm in the fucking house? You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Did you have like a light? Did you have a light bulb? I hate that term, light bulb, but you know what I mean? Like that moment, that spiritual awakening in prison. Was there anything in there that just kind of hit you?
It was before prison. It was. I think it was when I was in the rehab, man, and I'm like, this is possible. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, if that was, I don't know if it was, I don't know what the day it was. By the time I got out of that 6 months in that treatment center in Massachusetts, and I saw these people suffering like I am, they're all right, it's cool. There's ways to deal and cope. You know what I'm saying? Life's bigger than this. And plus, I had the veil of freaking prison under my head. You know, so for me, I think the more time away, like as far as you get in the woods, as far as you got to get out of the woods. You know, and I felt myself actually starting to get out. And I didn't want to go back in any further. So for me, I was like, I'm done. I'm straight. I'm good. Yeah. But it was the first time I was 13. I was actually drug free. You know, I might never had no substances in my body for that long since I was 13 years old. I mean,
so you're talking about.
And now I know. Like, I didn't know what I like. I love to read. I found out I love doing normal old man shit now, dude. Because I never did none of that before. I'm straight. I'm happy. Listen, I'm so happy, dude. I got dirt plates. I got all kinds of fun, cool shit I do nowadays. It's the best.
Yeah, man, that's cool. What I'd like to do too, man, I'm all the way out in California. You're in Florida, so we're on opposite sides of the map. I hear so much about the epidemic and what's going on out in Florida. And if you don't mind, maybe can you help shed a little bit of light on what you're seeing firsthand in the work that you're doing and what's going on out there? I'm
here on the streets, dude. There's a task force here locking people up left and right. I mean, it's just tough I mean, there's money in the business. You know what I'm saying? There's money in the industry. When I was living in Delray before, it was popular, but wasn't as popular. And I think what happened was when Obama made the changes in healthcare where there's no pre-existing conditions and you're covered to your 26 and your parents' card is what changed the game and flooded this place. You know? So next thing I know, literally, dude, there's like hundreds of treatment centers everywhere. There's white vans all over the town. Like there's
the white vans.
I love it. I think it's great because they're cool ass kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think it's great, but the community then is kind of in a little bit of an uproar. And then, of course, with that, there's going to be unscrupulous operators. Like this one dude just got in prison. He was like hoeing girls out of his halfway house. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, give me your phone. I'm putting you on Backpage. Like, it's crazy. So, I mean, and as a parent, you know, in my book, My Kids on Drugs Now What, I coach the parents. You got to do your due diligence, dude. Like, even if it's in Southern California or Florida, like a treatment center is a treatment center. You know what I mean? They're licensed and should abide by some principles. But it's your job as a parent that your gut should tell you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If things are good or not, if the staff's professional, if they're on time, if you're talking to people regularly, you know? You can't just say, here, kid, you're in a treatment center and trust they're going to be okay, you know?
Yeah.
You don't just trust any mechanic with your car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Point. Yeah, that's a good
So
point.
why are you going to trust just any treatment center with your kid? Like, and like, it really is more so getting more of a bum rap than it should. I mean, it's when you, because they're all freaking out because of the overdose spikes, you know? When you compact a ton of addicts in one county, the odds of them using are going to be greater because there's more addicts.
Yeah. that's
Like,
true.
You know what I'm saying? The math makes sense. Like, I don't understand what they don't get. And then, like, this fentanyl, this other shit's like, I mean, listen, in my opinion, Palm Beach County should be like, listen, we have the most recovering addicts in our county than anywhere in the world. You know, if you get caught selling fentanyl here, you're going to jail for life or whatever it is. You know what I mean? They need to make the penalties for selling that shit to these kids. Like, because then there's the people that hit
and kids
that
are
prey
dying.
on the drug dealers, prey on these kids. Like, it's insane. Like, how can you get ahead when, like, the drug dealers are flocking to where your halfway house is?
Yeah. Yeah, so they're there trying to get sober, trying to clean up, but at the same time, they're getting bombarded with drugs right there in their face. So, I mean, they really don't have a chance at that point.
And you know what's hard, too, sometimes is when these kids die is you need to assess where your kid's at as a parent. You need to be educated. If your kid's just smoking pot and drinking, don't send them fucking to a South Florida with fucking IV drug users galore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So these kids go from like, oh, I just smoked weed and drank. My mom freaked out and sent me to rehab. Now all you're hearing about is the glory stories about shooting drugs. Well, and that's a great point, man. I'm glad you bring that up because I know that I'm a parent. My kids are young though, right? But I can imagine, you know, for a parent out there who is has a teenager or even a young adult that is abusing drugs, a lot of it's so easy to turn the other way because it's the stigma, right? That's part of the reason I started this show and start these conversations, is because that's what's important is communicating, talking about it. You already mentioned your book, My Kids on Drugs Now What? Like, talk a little bit more about that and how, like, what is the outline of that book? Dude, I wrote the book. I'm telling you, like, everyone writes a book thinks it's a shit. I'm telling you, I bought every book on Amazon about addiction, bro. And I learned to read in prison. That's what I do. I read. I'm a reader. I read. So I bought every single book of addiction and read all them motherfuckers, dude. And I put all my input in there. I'm going to smoke them. Like, if you're a parent listening to this, you need this book. You know what I'm saying? I need to get to more and when I learned about it, I need to get to more of the prevention part of it. Like, if your kid's just smoking pot and drinking and it's starting to get a problem, or you just notice they did coke for the first time, get them in a local outpatient program. Do something locally just to turn that corner and make a little bit of a change in their life and steer it the other way. Not some big drastic jump like get the hell out of here and go to Florida. Yeah. You know? Like, yes, but it's like you need to scale on the spectrum of addiction. You need to be a keen parent. Like, autism has a spectrum. You know what I mean? Where do you fall on that spectrum? Addiction has a spectrum. Like, how severe of an addict are you? Yeah. You know? And then nowadays what's even crazier is these parents don't know when they were kids. When I was a kid, we used to drink beers and smoke some weed in the woods. You know what I mean? Hang out. Yeah. These kids are straight doing heroin in their mom's basement. Like, there is no weed and beer in the picture no more in high school. It's okay to do dope. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah. And like you said before, like, you know, the chances of you smoking a little pot and dying, you know, are pretty scarce compared to, you know, a heroin addict who may shoot up and ultimately die that very night in their mom's basement. When we started, like, okay, if you're going to do heroin, you're going to start with smoking weed, and you're going to do a little bit of this, you're going to sniff a little bit of the heroin, do some pills, and then you're going to do heroin maybe like a year or two later into it. Now they're just going from 0 to 100. They're right to dope, you know? So it's harder to treat that. It's harder to treat when you're a severe addict versus, you know, and then the parents are like, oh, he's going to be okay. It's just a phase. Yeah. Or he told me he stopped doing that. Yeah. Or he's like, you know what I mean? Whatever. Like me, I'm just smoking weed, Maz. What's the big deal? You know, when I'm really doing heroin and lying about it. You know, like if there's one chapter, like, no, for sure, dude. Like, I own exactdrugtest.com. It's like I sell like 12-pound tests for like a fraction of the price of Walmart because parents need these fucking things in their table.
Yeah.
It's like, no, for sure. Like, no, they're not bullshitting you. Like, drug test your kid. See what he's doing. They're going to lie to you. Addicts lie. They don't want. We're going to say, yeah, mom, I'm doing heroin. I don't care how cool of a parent you are. You're not going to say I'm doing heroin.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you don't want to stop. You don't want to get caught. You think you can handle it when you're young. Your mind's wired to do crazy things, you know? And you think you can handle it. Like, I thought I was in control the whole time, you know, when I was using drugs. Like, you think you can stop whenever you want to. But as a parent, if you're noticing your kid getting out of the way, and then there's the don't tell grandma, you know? Like, oh, don't tell dad. I found weed in your drawer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He might get mad. Like, tell every motherfucking person you know. You know what I'm saying? My kid's on drugs. Don't give him no money.
Yeah. Man, see, and you know what I love about what you're talking about right now, man, and I appreciate it, Adam, is it's
true, real prevention, bro.
It's real, because there's not beating around the bush. Like, we're not talking about, you're being straight up front and blunt about it. And I think that when we can talk about it in that manner, that's when
it'll change.
Exactly, man. So thank you,
dude.
For
And Chris
being
Christie on the news in New Jersey, all the parents are sitting there protesting a new treatment center in their neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, I guess Seabrook's opened a new center up, and he's doing like a press conference, and the parents are all booing, and Chris Christie's like, "Wait till it's your kid."
Yeah.
Wait till it's your kid, and you can see what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah, and
it's too little, too late, man. And the longer you let it slide, and even condoning, like, oh, it's cool, you're just smoking some weed or drinking the house is safe. If you don't touch a drug by the time you're 21, you never will do a drug again in your life. That's the stats.
Man, it's crazy.
You know what I'm saying? If you can get your kid to 18 to 21 without touching a drug or a drink, so they'll be good for the rest of their life.
Wow, that's
so
interesting.
So it's okay to let them smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to know. Like for me, I tell the parents, the conversation would be like this. If you smell pot, you're like, yo, what's up, dude? Is that good weed or what? You all smoked out? How you feeling right now? You know what I'm saying? Don't fucking crucify the kid.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be at that point. And then, like, it's to the point where the relationship and the dysfunction, the family, I mean, and I could talk about it forever. And, like, I started writing this book, My Kids on Drugs Now What?
Yeah.
To help parents whose kids are on the drugs. But, like, what I really started finding out is this is the best prevention tool. Like, if I lay the facts out there of how long this sobriety process takes, it's not like, oh, he's in rehab, he's in detox, he's cured either. That bullshit got to get cut out the picture, too. How many parents, the kids go to detox for 3 days and say, oh, he's clean, come home now. Come on back, Jimmy. You're not going to do drugs ever again. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
It's a fucking process.
And so,
you know
what you're saying, though, too, is we have to be, as parents, self-advocates and educate ourselves. Just like with autism, like you said, or just like how the hell can we expect to help someone we love if we don't know what the fuck we're dealing with, right?
Dude, I talk about, like, dude, find a fucking lawyer now. You know what I'm saying? Because your kid's going to get locked up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if he's doing heroin, he's getting locked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, once you drug test, we know for sure what they're doing. You know, and like I even talk in the book about, like, listen, get your medical doctor on board. If you don't want to talk about addiction, just tell your doctor, like, look, I think he's doing drugs. Can we tell him we need a regular blood screening and test him for toxicology? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to tell your kid you're doing it. Bring him for a regular blood test and have the doctor order the toxicology test, and you'll know for fucking sure exactly what they're doing, dude.
Yeah.
How can you treat something if you don't know what it is?
Yeah, it's impossible. It's impossible. We've got to educate ourselves.
And listen,
sure.
and alcoholism and opiate use and cocaine and just smoking weed, they're all different modalities of treatment for that. You know, there's different ways to approach the severity of the disease. You know, whether it's stage 1, 2, 3, or 4 cancer, you got to know what stage 1, 2, or 3, or 4 addiction you're dealing with, dude.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, like you said, you don't want to send your
what, a rookie to the fucking major leagues.
Exactly. In hindsight, you know, you look back on that, it could hurt them worse than actually helping them. You're putting them in an environment that, you know, might not be right.
And I talk about the importance of getting them in. And once they go to detox, you got to go to rehab. You need to go to you need to be in a program. I used to own a halfway house. All right, I used to own halfway houses down here. I sold the company, and then one time I had these dudes came to the house to move in. I knew them. They went to detox. They're like, I'm like, go to treatment for a month and come back. And they're like, nah, man, we're good. Nah, we're good. They get out of detox. They come to the house. They're like, all right, we're going to go to Burger King, meet my friends. They go out, 2 dudes, my boys drive, and the kid I knew, his boys in the passenger seat, 2 chicks in the back seat. They all go and get dope. The 2 girls in the back seat fucking die. The dude in the passenger seat shoots up as my boy has a needle in his arm, shoots up. He dies. And then my boy's sitting there with 3 dead people in the car with him.
Wow. That's crazy.
That's how real it is down here, dude. It's fucking nuts. It's so bad. It's so sad.
Damn, man. Well, so
right, but if he went to treatment, it would never happen. You know what I'm saying? It's a process. You got to heal your brain. Like whether you're addicted or whatnot, it takes time to heal your brain. You are not, just because you're nothing in your body doesn't mean you're not mentally prepared to handle what's out there in the real world. You know, it's a process. And as soon as they realize it's a 2-3 year window to get sober, dude. You know what I'm saying?
So
it ain't.
What is your, I have a couple of questions and then we'll wrap this thing up for I got two more. Number one, what does your personal recovery program look like, and what can you share that's helped you that might help someone else out there?
All right. Well, now, I mean, I don't even like. I did AA. I did NA Church for me and the spiritual group of things. My life now today, my conversations are past drugs. I don't talk to people about drugs anymore. Yeah. I don't reminisce drugs. It's like my conversations and my recovery is real life shit. You know, I hang out with real mentors, people who are successful, people who are living life how you're supposed to live life. You know, but it took me a long time to get here. So on my way here, had the sponsor, my sponsor. I picked the most money, the nicest car, and got the most fucking ass in the place. That's the dude I want to hang out with. He had 25 years clean, badass car, and a hot ass chick. I'm hanging with Ralph. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. That's why I picked my sponsor. You know what I'm saying? Because they got what I want. You hang out with what you want. You know what I mean? So I hung out with Ralph. He got me through. And then I got with this dude, Lucichetti, was in life for murder, dude. 25 years, did manslaughter. He got out, and they had a men's group, dude. It was a faith-based, Christian, Bible-based men's group where they'll read a chapter and just talk about life. You know what I mean? It wasn't about drugs no more for these guys because they had so much clean time. Yeah. So I was with the old timers from the rip. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's a good point too. Is, you know, the face of things might be drugs, alcohol, but really deep down, it's really a personal battle. You know what I mean? I know for me it is. It's a personal battle on how to deal with life, how to be connected spiritually, how to you know, how to navigate through life shit without
and check your shit when
that.
you're backsliding, assessing yourself daily. You know what I'm saying? Where am I at? Where I want to be? What am I doing? Who am I helping? Is my big key. And that's when AA taught you got to get back what's given to you. My mom owns a freaking mental health program, dude. I stop in there a few times a week, and like it's like I'm talking to the masses over there. Like I've been where these kids are right now. You know what I'm saying?
So speaking of that,
I'm actively involved and around people who are fresh. You know what I mean? Who are currently just getting sober. So for me, seeing that keeps it up front for me.
So somebody out there listening who's in that seat right now, and they're either contemplating or maybe they have a loved one who they're just fucking going through it with. Like, what advice can you give them, Adam?
You know, if you can't get through them, get a dude like me on the phone with them. You know, if you a second voice in the conversation, a fresh voice in a conversation, what's about making a change, getting into rehab, having a hard time, is pairing them with someone who they can relate with and click with. I can talk to a 20-year-old kid and he's like, you're the man, dude. You know, versus some mom who's like, fuck you, I'm done talking to you anymore. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just depends.
So like if you're gonna stage some intervention, you're gonna do something like that, like get a dude like me, find someone in the community that knows their shit, you know, that's been there, that the kid can like vibe with, and let them know that like, listen, it's a big scary change. But rehab's cool, dude. These rehabs down here are the shit, bro. You're hanging out at the fucking beach. You're playing volleyball. You know what I'm saying? You're going to group for 8 hours a day, and you're chilling.
But what about, South Florida. But what about the kid that can't get in? Rehab's not
scary, is what I just say. It's not scary. Go.
What about the kid that can't get into the rehab, though, because of insurance or whatever? I mean,
you got to hit local, dude. You got to hit resources. There is local resources, dude. I went to the county and got a grant. You call. You say you have a sliding scale. You guys got scholarships. Beat the phones.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why my book, it tells the parents to get these ducks in a row early, dude. And don't give your kid the insurance card like a fucking Visa. Don't tell them they got insurance. You know what I'm saying? Do what you got to do, because once they know they got this insurance card, they can go to treatment for a little bit. No, they can go relapse, and they'll take them right back in when they're out of money. Yeah, I can talk for hours about this shit, man. I got it all figured out, dude. I've been doing this shit. I see it every day of my life right in front of me. You know, it's like I'm in a bubble down here that's all about this, and the rest of the country is just hearing these either bad press or don't know what to do, or like there's only 1 or 2 centers in your state, and they're like strict and rigid and more like institutionalized, and they're not caring or compassionate. They treat you like a number. If insurance don't, like you said, if your car don't fucking get approved for a PPO, they ain't taking you. Yeah. And they're like, can't help you. You know, and they get to smash a website with community resources. There's grants, there's hospitals, there's sliding scales. Like even if you got to make a hybrid program for your kid or for yourself, you know, you're like, all right, I'll hit this therapist every other week, you know, for $50.
Yeah.
You know, I'll hit her once a week for you know, that's $200 a month, $50 a week. You go 1 session a week to this therapist. I'm gonna go to 3 AA meetings, you know, this week, and I'm gonna go to this IOP on a sliding scale for outpatient twice a week for $100 a week. You know?
And it falls back to just, like you said, doing due diligence, or maybe I said that, and knocking on doors and just continuing, because I know it is tough out there sometimes you really have to get after, especially if you don't have insurance or you don't have those resources that are right there. But it is out there, and there's plenty of resources on thatsoberguy.com you can check out. You can check out foundations. And then Adam, if any parents, any kids,
dude, and there's dudes like me and you out there, man. Reach out.
Yeah,
say what's up. Say something. Ask for help.
Exactly. Well, if someone wants to reach out to you, Adam, where can they do that?
Adam at adamjasinski.org, adamjasinski.org.com, mykidsondrugs.com.
Cool. And that's the book, My Kids on Drugs Now What? And that just came out, right?
Yeah, it's being launched on June 1st at the Book Expo and BookCon, New York City.
Cool. And
it's available for pre-order on Amazon and Barnes & Noble now. But I'm going to do a big campaign behind it. You might see me at the conference. You might see me at the conference at Foundation events, buddy. I might come show up over there to say hi.
Oh, that'd be awesome, man. I'd love to hook up, man, and meet in person and chat for a bit, man. I don't know. I'm going to have to get some subtitles, though, on this audio. I don't think that's possible, though.
Yeah. You might, right? I still talk fast, you know?
I love it, man. No, but I love the energy and I love the passion behind it, man, because that's how, at least to me, I know how that shit is real like that. So I appreciate it, man. Thank you.
But am I on to something here or what?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, man. And you know what? I love the title of the book, too, My Kids on Drugs Now What? Because we kind of alluded to that a little bit. How many parents out there don't know?
The workbook's coming out next. It's called I'm Getting Out of Rehab Now What?
Huh, nice, man. So you got them lined up.
Yeah.
No pun intended. No pun intended for you people who liked Coke back in the day. Hey, I'll put the links to I'm going to put the links to the book through Amazon. I'll put them in the show notes.
Yeah, I'm going to get you on oceansmedicalcenters.com website too. You can find Shane out there, oceansmedicalcenters.com.
Cool.
And I'll put your links as well on all my stuff.
Adam, man, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much.
All right, Shane. Thanks, bud.
Thanks again for listening. Thanks to Adam for coming on today and sharing some of his story. You can get more information one more time at mykidsondrugs.com. Find the new book on there, also be in the show notes. Go to thatsoberguy.com for more information. Leave us a review on iTunes. Much appreciated. Thanks to Foundations Recovery Network, Sober Nation.